Hi guys, it's me, Kathy. Mrs. Handy, are you? Hope everybody's doing really well. Well, I've been thinking about an odd thing. Who is Michelangelo? Who was Michelangelo? You can look at it a couple of different ways. Well, okay, Michelangelo's full name, Michelangelo D.I.D. Lodovico, Lodovico. It's long. Buonarroti, 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 Simoni, Simoni. Well, I spelled it at least. So even though I'm pronouncing it wrong, you've got the spelling. So, okay, look up his name. Just look up Michelangelo. And look at the statue of David. And look at the photos of our junior when he was young. Well, that's mostly what we have for photos when he was young. And especially the ones where he's at the beach. So look at his hair and then compare it to the statue of David. I think Junior was David. He was Jesus, David, Jesus, Adam, David, Jesus, all in a row, all the way up to Junior. Okay, and Michelangelo was born 3/6/1475. And you can look at it as a reverse, 3/6 reverse to 63. He died 2/18 for R, 18 is R, 1564. And the 64 is, well, no, it's not a 9. I was thinking it was a 9, but I added wrong. And he died at age 88. And 88, well, 8s are infinity. Lay the 8 down, and it's the infinity symbol. So, and 88 is trump, by the way. So, he reminds me of Archangel Michael, right? He probably reminds you of him, too. So, when you look up the history of Michelangelo, he became what you call the architect of St. Peter's Basilica at age 74, and 74 in simple gematria is Jesus. So that's a big deal. And in case you're new, I always forget to tell you, please bear with me guys if you know what I'm talking about. Most of you do. A equals 1 through Z equals 26. And I usually use gematrix.org, and I put in a phrase, a word, or all the capital letters from a paragraph, or maybe a title from a newspaper article. So that's what we're doing. And when you do that, you come up with either the choices when you enter your phrase or word is, you can look at simple gematria, English gematria, or, no, I'm sorry, Jewish gematria, English gematria, or simple gematria, and I usually use simple. So it's the third choice out of them, and you click on that, and then you get your choices, and you find out what the Holy Spirit is telling you is appropriate for what you're talking about or inquiring about. So that's it. That's gematria in a nutshell. So architect at age 74 in simple gematria is Jesus. Michelangelo, this is a great part of this, you guys. You're going to love it. Michelangelo often slept in his boots. That's one of the key things you find out when you read anything about Michelangelo. he was often slept in his boots. Now, I don't know if it's because he was ready to run or what, but he often slept in his boots. Who do we know who wears boots all the time, and he shows his boots on purpose in his videos? His cowboy boots. It's Juan O. Savin. And O, in my opinion, is for Omega. Like Juan is number 1, like Alpha, and then O is Omega, and then Savin is 7. So what do you think about that? Tell me your comments. I'm not live. A lot of you guys think I'm live when I'm doing this. Unless I'm listed as live, I'm not live. You're like one of the first people to see a recording. That's usually what this is. So yeah, when it says premiere, it's not live. It just means you're one of the very first people to see the video. And after a little bit, it doesn't say, premiere anymore. So anyway, stop the video and give me your opinion. I'd like to know what you think. So he slept in his boots. And Michelangelo, just the word, is 104. I have to read my notes, you know how I am. And it equals Jfkjr is alive. The deceiver. That's what Juan is doing. He's deceiving us. Masquerade, in a good way though. I'm not saying it's bad. Masquerade. Big brother. Because remember how we've been talking a lot about, let's see, Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr. was the first of the twins born, and JFK, John, so we have Joseph Patrick, and John was born 2 minutes later. So they were twins, and they were born 2 minutes apart. And it's all based on the marine clock, 24-hour clock, whatever you want to call it. And if you look up on Wikipedia, which is usually false in one way or another, either by white hats or bad guys, now I think it's mostly definitely white hats. So it looks like they're born in 2 different years. But take those 2 different years, 1915 and 1917, and enter them as times of day on a 24-hour clock. And so 1915 is 7:15 p.m. and 1917 is really 7:17 p.m. So Joseph was born earlier, and John was born 2 minutes after. So I know I hesitate, but really I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so Michelangelo at 104 is big brother, because JFK Jr., if you want to look at him that way, I usually just say Junior, because he's a junior. It's Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr., and he's a junior reincarnated into Jfkjr. So I just usually look at him as Junior. So, but he's big brother. And then we have for 104 also is dead ringers. I am King David is another match. 104 also equals a perfect day, which is either exactly or similar to one of Savin's movie. I think it was called The Perfect Day, but it's very similar to his movie. And I love clay, and I looked up to see if Michelangelo ever really used clay for modeling. And yes, he did. If you really, really research into it, you'll find out, yes, he did use clay to make models of what he was working on. So I tried John Simoni, just for fun, because that's Michelangelo's last name is Simoni, or Simoni. And so John for our junior, and Simoni is 126, and that equals, of course, 126 is Juan o Savin. So then I tried, is Jfkjr Michelangelo? That's 187. And I got nothing to see here. I am David, I am. Oh, I'm sorry. I am David, I am in charge here. I left off the last part, sorry. 187 is also the Divine Phoenix. And then we have Contemporaries. Oh, I'm sorry. Contemporaries of Michelangelo called him, this is more of an aside, not a match. Contemporaries of Michelangelo called him the Divine. So people who were also artists working at the same time called him the Divine. And so the Divine Phoenix at the same number, 187, seems to be important to me. Then we have, can you keep a secret? And one complete unit. Like all these people that he has been is one unit or person. Roll them all together and you have a person. All part of God, in my opinion. So then I did Michelangelo. Well, this is really long. Michelangelo, D-I-D, Lodovico, I wish I could say it right. Buonarroti, Simoni, and that's, if you don't get the spelling, just look it up. Michelangelo, if you look up Michelangelo, you'll find it. And that's 424. And the one that really jumped out was, that was 424, is this is the greatest story never told. Ever told? How about never told? Because we haven't been told the truth. And then I did only out of his name, the last part, O-T-I, excuse me, Simoni, and that's 212. And it's really funny, it equals Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. And that's from The Wizard of Oz, and The Wizard of Oz is all coded. It's all coded for us right now. And The Wizard of Oz happens to equal 176, and it equals level playing field, which President Trump was always talking about when he was president. Level the playing field, level playing field. And it equals Back to the Future and Stop the Count, which was a phrase during the last election. Stop the count, because it was HOAX, it was one of those. And The Wizard of Oz at 176 also equals Ezra Cohen Watnick, and he was the acting Undersecretary of Defense, and he had a big role in all that. There's a great video of him when he gave a short speech, and that was when the Trump administration was still going. I really do think it's still going, but at least it's going under military leadership, if not the whole thing. I do think it's the whole thing, though. And so he looks like he's a Jfkjr JFK, I should say, grandson. That's who Ezra Cohen Watnick looks like, because he looks just like our junior. I don't know if he was ever married to Diana. That's a darn good question. I'd love to find out the answer to that. If anybody's listening, please let me know. Like white hats, please. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get all the time that, I have no wife. I never had a wife. And I always thought, well, that's President Trump. And Melania isn't Melania. She's Diana and Jackie. But what if it also applies to Junior? And marriage is more like a term that we use. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I'm wondering, like I've gotten in other decoding, like there'll be a big wedding in the spring. Who knows what year? But could it be this spring? Could it be a year from then? Who knows? Like I said, who knows? Could it be John and Diana getting married? That would be so cool. I remember when Diana married Loser, you know, in the royal family, you know what I'm talking about. And Mr. Handy and I were getting married a month after them in 1981. They got married in September and we were getting married in October. So I was big time into this wedding, like her train that was umpteen yards long and how beautiful she was. I didn't really care about Charles, but you know, I was all about Diana and how gorgeous she was and innocent, at least one would think. And it was just something. And we were in New Hampshire looking for our home, to buy a home. We escaped from New York and then Massachusetts, so that was a big deal. And we were escaping Massachusetts at the time and trying to move to New Hampshire. And we were in a hotel in Portsmouth, you know, looking for homes and things. And that was the night that supposedly Princess Diana died, which was all a hoax. And you know, and I remember waking Mr. Handy up going, oh my gosh, Princess Diana died. And I was so upset and crying and everything. And he's like, oh, okay. And he rolls back over to go to sleep. And I'm like, oh, you know, men, I don't know. So back to Simoni. So I did Simoni, just Simoni now. And that's 79. And happens to equal favorite anon 17th letter phrase. It's a map. And if you remember, I've talked about this before. Map equals 30 and 30 equals Joseph. So that's what that means. Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr., who reincarnated into Jfkjr. That's what that means. It's a map. And 79 equals Alpha Omega. And fear not. So no matter what you hear on the radio or phone or whatever it is, fear not. It's going to look like a NUKEWAR, and the world is falling into who knows what, and all the volcanoes are going off, and there's a tsunami and everything. As I've talked about that was on my first video I ever did when I was petrified. If you look back at that, I didn't delete the first few videos. I left them up there. Even though I was petrified and didn't know what I was doing, I left them up there for posterity and so that you guys who will start a channel, and some of you guys that I'm talking to will start a channel. I might be talking to you, and if you are, you'll know who you are. And I left them up because I want you to know I'm not perfect. I'm just a meme, which is French for grandmother. I am just a meme. I am just a normal person, just like you guys are. Really. And I just got used to talking to a microphone, you know, and I got more comfortable with it. And I want you guys to know that you can do it. Okay? Some of you guys are meant to do it, and God wants you to do it. So if that's hitting you, let me know and I will help you with your channel. Okay? There's a lot of YouTube videos out about every question you might have about how to do it, how to upload, whatever, but I will also help you. So let me know. I'm Mrs. Handy RU at Comcast.net. Okay? And I'm also on Telegram, but I don't check Telegram as often as I should, so email me and we'll make sure. Okay? Anyway, back to the topic. Okay, beyond all that, I worked on a Greg Wagland video, and Greg Wagland is all comms too, you guys. You know that by now. And he does Magpie Radio. And yeah, you just should listen to it. He does Sherlock Holmes and more. He does other stories by Arthur Conan Doyle. Uh, he put up one that was called The Open Window. Oh, it might not be Greg Wagland. If I'm wrong, it was gosh, I get Greg Wagland's channel and what Simon's channel all screwed up. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking and I'll remember which one it was. So anyway, there's one called The Open Window, and it's by S-A-K-I, Saki, and that was a pen name, which is pen is 30, and Joe, like I just said. So the open window equals 171, and it equals really bad idea, Holmes, like Sherlock, because we're always going back to Sherlock Holmes comms. And remember, Greg Wagland reads all the Sherlock Holmes video. Well, I should say audios. I don't know how to put it, but I guess there's about 30 that aren't in public domain, and he hasn't read them. So now he's on to reading other things. Still kind of Sherlock Holmesy, but yeah, I think it's a big deal that he's read all that he could. So 171. The open window is 171. It equals see who I really am. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about who's reading it. 171 equals the true Jesus. And event horizon, just wait and see, Thanksgiving, and twin brothers. So I wonder, by Thanksgiving, are we going to know what's going on? Or the delta of Thanksgiving, a year, 2 years, I don't know. I mean, gosh, it's been 5 years now since sorry about the focus, our favorite Anon started. 5 years, you guys. For all you guys who've held on that long, like me, oh my gosh, kudos to you. You guys are awesome. And for not giving up, I mean, maybe you gave up for a little while and you came back, but that's okay. That's okay. I think I think you should get a medal, you know, like a medal of honor that President Trump gives out to people in the wars. This is like, I mean, it's not the same. It's not physical, but it's like a mental kind of thing. It's a war for the hearts and souls and minds of people, emphasizing minds. So I think you guys are wonderful for sticking with it. So let's see. Saki, who is the pen name for this story, the open window I'm talking about, equals 40, and that equals I am 17th letter. What's the 17th letter? I am that letter. I am back. So say it as one thing. I am 17th letter. I am back. And coincidence was said at 5:50 during this video, the open window. And it was followed by, okay, so we have a 5-5 for Jfkjr, right, at 5:50. And what he said at that moment, the open window, he said, make his appearance on this tragic anniversary, okay? Make his appearance on this tragic anniversary. We had just gotten from the open window, 171, Thanksgiving, and twin brothers. So is it Thanksgiving now? Is it Thanksgiving Delta later? Another one? I hope it's this Thanksgiving. I really do. I'm sure a lot of you do. Let's see. make his appearance on this tragic anniversary? Are we going to see him? Well, I don't even know. I should know right now, but I don't have it in front of me. What actual day Thanksgiving falls on this year in 2022. So I'm not sure. But this tragic anniversary, I mean, it could also be talking about July 16, when our junior was said to have, when he disappeared, when he was in his plane, going from, what was it, New Jersey to, was it Nantucket? Martha's Vineyard. New Jersey to Martha's Vineyard. And then I think it was on the 23rd of June, July. Oh, you guys, tell me in the comments. I know I should know this, but for some reason I'm having a brain cramp. I think it was July 16th he disappeared, not June. And it was July 23rd that he was pronounced DEAD. So would it be, on this tragic anniversary we see him? Could it be on the 16th when he was gone, missing? Or could it be the 23rd when he was pronounced gone, DEAD? Or could it be something about 11/22, which was the date that President Kennedy was exited? And you do know, right, if you've watched my other videos, he exited himself. He didn't DIE. It was all planned. Lee Harvey Oswald was a white hat thing. All that was white hat. So, in case you're new. It's so confusing. Not to me, but I think for new people, it's probably confusing. Let's see. So, Saki's, S-A-K-I's, his name, that was his pen name. And from what, so it wasn't Greg Wagland, it was Bite-Sized Audio that did this. Because Greg doesn't do this. He only does Sherlock stuff. Yeah. Magpie Radio only does Sherlock. And maybe a little bit more. But the things with Saki and all these other stories that are like ghost stories are from Simon Stanhope, in quotes, who's Junior, and maybe Junior and JFK taking turns. Same thing with Magpie and Greg Wagland. I mean, it's the same. They've just changed the accent a little bit, and they can sound like whoever they want because of who they are. They're part of God. You think God can't talk in different accents? Yeah, I think he can. So Saki is that's a pen name, and his real name is H.H. Munro, M-U-N-R-O. Well, H.H. Munro is 97, and that equals, Jonathan, Jacqueline, serpent, don't kill, cannibalism. Remember, the tree of life was human DNA, in my opinion. So we have serpent, don't kill, cannibalism, Jonathan, Jacqueline, karma, come back. That's what's going to happen. Karma. That's why the beast thing has to happen, like Revelation 11. I'm going to end it on a good note. Okay. I got so many notes. Oh my gosh, you guys. So I thought I'd do Steely Dan's song, Time Out of Mind. And it seems appropriate because the lead singer, I think he is the lead singer of Steely Dan, one of my favorite groups ever, is Walter Becker. And Walter Becker supposedly died. Anyway, he's not dead. He's in a Clouseau video, C-L-O-U-S-S, 2 S's, E-A-U, 2 S's because there's twins involved in this whole storyline. So C-L-O-U-S-E-A-U is like the Pink Panther, the movie. So if you look up with 1 S, you won't find the right videos. So Walter Becker is in a Clouseau video. I was at a rally, Trump rally, that became a Clouseau video, which showed people who were alive that everybody thinks are dead. So I was at a New Hampshire Trump rally that was a Clouseau video. And Martin Luther King was there. He was. He had like dreadlocks, and I think it was round glasses, right near President Trump. And he was younger. So give that a look. Look up Clouseau with 2 S's. Anyway, Steely Dan, Time Out of Mind. So I try to sing a little bit, but I usually come out really bad. But son, you better get ready for love. Well, God is love. On this glory day, this is your chance to believe what I've got to say. Keep your eyes on the sky. Put $1 in the kitty. Don't the moon look pretty? I think we're having the eclipse. Tonight when I chase the dragon. Chase the dragon. The dragon, the beast. The water may change to cherry wine, like blood, okay? And the silver will turn to gold, like the reset. Time out of mind, and that's the chorus. And then he says it again. He doesn't say it 3 times, he says it 2 times, like twins. Time out of mind. I'm holding the mystical sphere. It's direct from Lhasa, Lhasa. That's in Tibet, where people are rolling in the snow. And I'm thinking it's a kind of a reference to HE double hockey sticks, where hell isn't like hot all the time, maybe. It's freezing. Maybe it's hot sometimes, I don't know. And rolling in the snow, because it's freezing. Far from the world we know. Children, we have it right here. It's the light in my eyes. And Junior and JFK, oh, especially JFK, when you see him in rallies, his eyes look like, oh my gosh, I love you. He's looking at you. I mean, he just looks at you like he loves you. Because he does, he loves you. So I hope you know that. It's perfection and grace. It's the smile on my face. He's always smiling when he does that. Tonight when I chase the dragon, then he repeats it. Children, we have it right here. And let's see what else do we have on Time Out of Mind. Well, I guess that's it. I won't go in. It's kind of repeats itself, but that's 164. So I think that's important. I really do. Oh, and you know, there's another song by Fleetwood Mac. And I'm pretty sure it's Fleetwood Mac. Tell me if I'm wrong. And it's Rhiannon. And Rhiannon, Taken by the Sky. Think about that. Taken by the Sky. And there's so many songs you can hear little snatches from. And you go, oh my gosh, they're talking about what's going to happen. Or had happened. Or will happen. It's amazing. And I think the Yacht Rock DJ, the guy who has this funny voice, he talks like this, you know, and I can't even remember what he says, but he says hysterical stuff. The Yacht Rock DJ, maybe if you look it up, you'll find quotes from him online. I don't know, I just thought of that. And it's hysterical, so he sounds like he's, whoa, you know, like all that and more. And I think he might be Junior, because that can all be recorded ahead of time and just plugged in when they want it on the Yacht Rock station on Sirius XM. So anyway, so Time Out of Mind, which was the name of the song I just went through, is 164. And of course, time travel, all that stuff. And time is not linear. That's another reason to think of Time Out of Mind. 164 is President Trump's phrase, where's Hunter? And John Jr. is QANON. And then we have Queen of Queens, which would be Diana, Jackie, who knows. In a past life, I was, and then ... So that's 164. And then we have Christ and Sophia, and Come Away With Me, Leaving for Heaven, Goodbye for Now. That's like the bee sting. That's what I'm talking about. You must decide. It's up to you guys to decide. It's not up to them. It's up to you guys to decide about God and Jesus. I would decide pro. I would say yes. I would take a little box that says yes, and I would check it off in indelible ink. That's just me. Let's see, a line, well, more than one line. No, I'm sorry, a line from that song, Time Out of Mind. Tonight when I chase the dragon. That's 280. And it equals Lord Christ, second coming, Greek goddess, Holy Sophia, any moment you will fly. Let's see, Holy Female Child, Almighty God. I might have run that together. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. What goes around comes around. So basically, it's kind of like the boomerang that our favorite Anon talks about. So do that, it comes back to you. And also think of it as lives. You know, your life is going on and moving on. It goes around again. Sacrifice, sorry, my voice cracked. Sacrifice on live television. So that could mean that we see what the bad guys did, because it's all recorded, like they used to bet on this in Las Vegas. These certain holy moly bad people, they would do it in Las Vegas, and they bet on which child that they were watching on this horrible video would live longer when they were being, I don't know what you want to call it. I won't even go there. Which one would live longer? And Juan said that, Juan, he said that. Sacrifice on live television could also be when the beast event happens in the ocean. I'm pretty sure it's the ocean, not a river. And I don't think it's just Eve. I think it's Adam and Eve. Or you can look at it as Jesus and Mary. DIE, go down, wherever that is, then back up again, and then here. And I think it only takes seconds. So I'm hoping, from the decoding I get, it's very, very quick. So let's see. Tonight when I chase the dragon at 280 is also 46 spelled out. And 46 equals Virgin Mary, Mother Mary. So that's interesting. And then we have 280 is Comet Elenin. Now it may not be Comet Elenin, Elenin. It may not be that comet, but it would be like a comet looks like it's going to destroy the Earth. I'm sorry, Comet Elenin Yellowstone. That's like all together in one line. Sorry, I was looking at it as two. So Comet Elenin Yellowstone is 280. I think something's going to look like it's happening in Yellowstone, definitely. Large earthquakes in California. So that's going to happen. I mean, if you look at Revelation 11, there'll be a huge earthquake. I don't know if it'll be worldwide or just California or Yellowstone. Who knows? Sometimes these matches aren't, the part of what it says matches to what you're trying to decode. Sometimes it's all of it. So it's hard to know. And Donald Trump's ultimate deal matches tonight when I chase the dragon at 280. So another line, I don't know why I went on with this Steely Dan song so much, but it's one of my favorite songs, so that's why. The water may change to cherry wine. Now you can do this with your songs. You can do this with songs that you feel speak to you. So don't just listen to what I do. The water may change to cherry wine is 340. And I think it's when, like I said earlier, that when the beast and Adam, Eve, all that is fighting, it's going to be horrible. It may look like Eve's head comes off. I know I hate to even say that, but it sounds like a beheading and then coming back and being healed and all. But, and you can look at it, it's not just the beast, you can look at it as a chimera, which is like a animal that's of many different, I don't know, DNAs all put together into one crazy beast. So the water may change to cherry wine, 340. It equals returning power to the people. And that's something President Trump said at his inauguration. You go back and listen to his inauguration. It's full of comms and decodables. Anything he says is decodable, but especially his inauguration speech. So returning power to the people is a big deal. And that's what's happening. And it was also in campaign commercials. Let's see. 340s also declare the word of God to all nations. This is so biblical. Obviously, this is biblical. And I don't know if is it going to be like everybody hears it at the same time. I think I've said that before. Like, will it be like 3D images of JFK and Jr. and President Trump and Melania, not Melania, but Jackie and Diana, whoever everybody is, all in everybody's home at the same time. And everybody hears it in their own language. And that's kind of what I think might happen. Like, I don't think it's just going to be a radio announcement, because not everybody even has a radio saying with the cliche phrase, darkest Africa, or an island, remote island. They just don't. Not all of them. Most people do, obviously, but not everyone. And everybody has to be given the chance to know what's going on. And then they make a decision. They either say, yes, I'm following you, or no, I'm not. And the no, I would not want to be there. So declare the word of God to all nations, to 340. The king who is to give life to the dead, like I said earlier in the video, I think it was earlier in this one or it was the last one, I don't know. The greatest story never told. And then you committed grievous sins. Now, I looked at it when I wrote it as, Adam's, Eve's, Jesus's, Mary's, and all that. And then I thought, oh, it's me too. It's me too, because if I'm under the law, which I think it's John Kennedy equals under the law. It's either John Kennedy or John F. Kennedy. I don't remember. Under the law. We didn't even realize that we were still under the law. We thought, oh, if you're Christian or Catholic or whatever, you think you're under the grace of God. You're not under the laws of God, And but we're wrong. I think we're really wrong. But John made a point of talking about basically, I think it meant knowingly committing sin and not knowingly committing sin. Like, that's where the Favor Anon 17th letter put in the word knowingly, and a couple of times at least in the posts, the old posts, knowingly. So you either knowingly commit the sin or you unknowingly commit the sin. Because if you didn't know you were under the law, it was an unknowing act, right? So, 10 Commandments, the whole thing, didn't realize, doesn't matter. It's still called a sin. And that's why we are so blessed to be alive today, to be able to say, oh, yeah, you're right. All that was wrong, what I did. I'm sorry. And then when you pass over, you face God, and he'll have it all written out for you, and he'll say all the bad stuff you did. But at that point, Jesus is like he's your what do you call it? Ambassador? No. He's your go-between. He's the one that mediator, yeah, between you and God. And there's more than one Jesus. So you have a couple of them or more that are speaking up for you. And and don't worry about your relatives, because your relatives that have gone on, I don't think they're in heaven yet. I really don't. I mean, even though that's what we always thought. From all of my decoding, it sounds like they're in limbo. Like I've gotten limbo. This is an actual decode. Limbo is both. So what do you think that means when you're working on this kind of stuff? Limbo is both, means alive, oh gosh, the phone, alive, people who are alive are in limbo, and people who passed on are in limbo. So don't worry. You think they're in heaven. Well, they're not in heaven yet. They're kind of like, and remember, time is not what we think it is. So it's not like they've been waiting and waiting to get to heaven. I mean, if they came back right now, they'd think it was the same moment, in my opinion, you know. They wouldn't even realize that time had elapsed, because it's limbo. So don't worry about them not making it to heaven. Really, really, really don't worry about that. And another one. So you committed grievous sins, meaning me, and most people, I would think. And then, how could a father kill his own son? Well, that's the beast episode, in my opinion. So, anyway, I have so much more to do, you guys. I just start losing my voice. Look at this. This is what I have to do. I can't do it all. So, I love you guys, and please donate if you think I give you any value or help you in any way. And 50 cents is fine, and I have all my links under the description of the video. It's like the little V mark, if you're not used to that. It gives the description of the video, and then you'll see links like Venmo and Patreon and PayPal and whatever. So I hope I do help you guys, even if you don't. I mean, obviously, even if you don't donate, I love you guys, and I feel like we're a family. I know that's weird, but I do feel like that. And like I always say, take care of each other on comments. Try to connect and have conversations, which is a one phrase. I'll get into that one day. And take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Love you.